Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. How are you? How is everyone doing? Wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful afternoon in the beautiful city of Port Harcourt. Yes, so who is here with me today? Who is here? All right. Just let me know that you're here. Let me know you're here with me. Okay. Wow, so we're here again on Growth Habits with Ngozi. I hope you can hear me. I want to believe that I'm very, very audible this afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, this is Growth Habits with Ngozi, and I'm your personal guide on the journey of growth. Yes, I say this every time, and it might sound cliche to some people, but truly, I don't just go on this journey with you. I don't just lead you. I take you by the hands, and we go together on the journey of growth. So as I am learning, as I'm teaching, I'm learning. As I'm learning, I'm sharing. As I'm sharing, I'm also learning. And the process just keeps going on and on. And it's always a pleasure to be here to share with each and every one of us. So please do let me know if you can hear me. Let me do a quick sound check from my laptop to see if I am audible. Just give me a second. All right. So yes, at least I'm sure that I am heard. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. So we are still on the series on ethics. We started this series a couple of weeks ago talking about ethics, and we started off with just an introduction of the topic. What does ethics mean? And we found that it's derived from a Greek word, ethos, and it just means a way of living. Welcome, Peter. Ibe, welcome. I'm glad you joined us this afternoon. Glad to have you. How is your side? I want to believe that it's as beautiful as it is this way. Okay, so I said that ethos is a way of living. That is the word that ethics is derived from, a way of living. Oh, okay, okay. If you're ready, I'm ready. If you're ready, I am ready to go harder today. We're talking about workplace ethics today, actually. But I'm doing my recap as I usually do. I do a recap of what we have done in a particular series. When we started, we used to do a recap of everything. But we started seeing that the number of episodes had grown to such an extent that we couldn't recap everything we did before starting that session. So I decided that it's best to just recap what we've done in a series and then go on. So I'm recapping what we did in this series on ethics. And we started, as I said, with a definition of the word of the word ethics, and we said that is derived from the Greek word ethos and is a way of living. We also said that ethics is just basically talking about your behavior, talking about your rational justification for your moral judgments. It deals with what is morally right and what is wrong, deals with what is just and what is unjust. Those are that was the basic definition of ethics that we dealt with in the first part of this series. And we also said that there are some certain principles that form part of ethics, no matter what type of ethics you're talking about, whether business, workplace, personal, whatever. These principles generally cut across all, and those are the principles of integrity, respect of persons, personal accountability, fairness, and responsibility. We said that this cuts across every aspect of ethics that we'll be talking about. So we should keep those in mind even as we look at all the aspects of ethics. Okay, so that was the first session. The next session, we talked about personal ethics. Yeah, we talked about personal ethics, and these are your own ethics that you identify with. These are the, well, let's say, rules that you identify with that helps you deal in your everyday life, actually, in all your activities. It refers to the things you want to adhere to in respect to your interactions, in respect to your business dealings, in respect to whatever, but it deals with you specifically. What you have accepted, what you have agreed, what you have proposed, what you have said are the rules that I will live by in my life. Welcome, Tonya. Glad that you joined us this afternoon. And some of the things that we talked about when we talked about personal ethics was honesty. We talked about loyalty. We talked about integrity. We talked about respect. And we talked about selflessness and responsibility. This was when we were talking about personal ethics. Okay, and then our last session, the last session we had last week, we talked about professional ethics. And these are the rules or the principles that govern our behavior in the business environment with regards to the work that we do, with regards to who we are as a professional. And we said that many different professions have their own set of ethics that guide them. But in studying the code of ethics of several professional bodies, we found some things that are common to all of them. That was what we discussed last week. Our last week's session was so interesting, so engaging. We had a lot of contributions. We had a lot of people comment. So it was quite an engaging session. So talking about professional ethics, we mentioned things like integrity once again. As I told us, integrity is something you will hear in whatever we are going to talk about as regards to ethics. Integrity, that is upholding honesty and truthfulness. So you see, it's not just that, oh, I'm an honest person. Integrity is upholding that honesty and truthfulness in all your dealings. But it's specifically, as we spoke last week, in your professional dealings, upholding this honesty and truthfulness in all your professional dealings, even when you are faced with difficult situations. We had a discussion about the situation in Nigeria, how to deal with it, how to manage with it, given that it seems that even the very system that we work in has some corruption embedded into it. And I gave us some personal examples. Another principle we talked about last week was confidentiality, keeping your client's information confidential. You're not meant to share information that a client released to you by reason of your being the professional in charge of whatever it is you're in charge of for that client. You must keep their information, their sensitive information, private. We talked about objectivity, being objective and providing an unbiased and a fair service to everyone. It's not because the person is a high network individual, you offer a different kind of service than when you're dealing with someone maybe that's a low network individual. We talk about professional competency, being sure that you possess all the necessary knowledge and skills. I hope I'm still audible. I hope that I'm still audible. Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. I think I'm audible. I believe so. Okay. So, let me get back to my recap. Okay, the next thing we talked about was professional responsibility. That's taking responsibility for the work that you do for people. Okay, thank you, Peter. Loud and clear. Awesome. That's good. Taking responsibility for the work you do for your clients, for whoever it is you're doing that work for. Taking responsibility for it and not giving excuses. When you give yourself permission to give excuses, honestly, the excuses will jump out of the woodworks. But when you know that you have no excuse to give, you will do the best possible. We talked about accountability. We talked about legal compliance. This was where we had quite a lot of discussion. Adhering to the relevant laws and regulations in your profession and also in your nation. It is so important. Adhere to it. I always advise people, do the basic compliances. You don't have to go especially in a nation like here, you might not have to go overboard, but do the basic compliances. Don't give room for tomorrow. There's a change of government and they come after you. Okay, so do your basic compliances. I talked about continuous improvement. Don't just think, oh, I've studied this course, that is all. No, keep improving, keep learning, and you will see that you will be the consummate professional. Okay, so that is the recap of what we have done so far in this discussion on ethics. As I said, today we're going to talk about workplace ethics. It might sound the same as professional ethics, but it's not quite the same because everybody in the workplace is not a professional. I mean, you might have the cleaner. You wouldn't consider the cleaner a professional per se. Yes, in their own area they could be, but there is no course of study called cleaning. You understand? So, workplace ethics refers to the way that an employee in an organization governs themselves. See, it's not about it's not only about, let me not say it's not only about the rules and the regulations that apply in that organization. It's how you as a worker, you as an employee governs yourselves and your work, your attitude to work. Is, you see, self-regulation, self-governance, self-monitoring. How do you as an employee govern yourself? How do you as an employee deal with your attitude to work? Many times people, when you talk about ethics and talk about attitude to work, people will tell you, okay, thank you, can be categorized under environmental management as a course. Okay, possibly. Thank you for that information. But what I'm saying is that workplace ethics deals with every person that is working in a place. But professional ethics most times deals with, maybe I'm an accountant and I'm dealing with people as an accountant. Workplace ethics just means an employee. How should you act? How should you act as an employee? It doesn't matter if you're an accountant. It doesn't matter if you're the cleaner. It doesn't matter if you're the receptionist. It doesn't matter if you're the MD CEO. How should you behave? What attitude should you have to work in your workplace? Okay. Generally, workplace ethics is divided into two broad areas. One is the aspect I just talked about, how the employee governs themselves within the workplace. And the second aspect is how the organization itself structures or conducts itself, both internally and externally. So those are the two aspects of workplace ethics, and I will try to touch both aspects today. I hope that I can. So I will start off with your own part as an employee of a company. What are the things that are expected of you? What are the ethics of working in a workplace? What are the things that are expected of you? And I purposely picked this number one as number one because I know it is an issue that we struggle with in this part of the world. We have an issue with this. I've seen it just about everywhere that I've worked. I've seen where people struggle with this. And it's a general problem because we believe in African time. Yes. And that issue is punctuality. Punctuality. This is not just coming to work early. Punctuality. That's part of it. It's not just coming to work early. It's also being able to submit assignments, complete projects on time. Like I said, this is a general problem that I see in this part of the world. It is endemic. In fact, it's almost as if it's inside our blood, it's in our bloodstream to be late for everything. And when you're late, whether to work, for an appointment, or you're supposed to deliver a service and you deliver it late, you're basically telling the person that you don't consider their time important. That's the other person. That is what you're doing. But we don't see it like that here. We always find excuses why we are late. I mean, there is no excuse to be late. If, let's say, for example, I have an appointment to meet someone by, okay, right now it's 12:15, 12:30. If by 12:15 I suspect that I won't make it early, I will send a message to that person. I'm running late. Honestly, there was a meeting I was supposed to go for, and I met hold up that was unexpected. So going by my assessment at that point, I would be late for that meeting. So I quickly sent a message to the person that convened the meeting, explaining that, oh, please bear with me. I am running late. I met hold up that I didn't expect. And I arrived. I arrived for this meeting. I think the meeting was supposed to hold by 5. Yes, 5 o'clock. I arrived for this meeting by 5:05, which for me is late. For me is late. 5:05. The convener of the meeting had not come. Neither has any other person. And yet I sent her a message that I was running late. By the time she came, she was like, oh, I thought you said you are running late. And in my head, I'm like, what is the time right now? Are we not all late? Yeah. So punctuality, very, very important. Very, very, like I said, you are telling the other person who you're running late on that their time is not important. That is why you can come at any time. That is why you can be 10 minutes late and it means nothing. That is why you can arrive at the office. You're supposed to start work by 8 o'clock. You're arriving even by 8 o'clock. That time, 8 o'clock, is not arrival time in an office. That is when you start work, which tells me that you should be in the office, let's say 10 minutes before that 8 o'clock, even if it's 5 minutes, so that you start work. You have the opportunity to sit at your desk, get comfortable, and start work by 8. And when you have an assignment that is due, let's assume your boss gave you work to do, and he says, Ngozi, please, I need this by 8 o'clock tomorrow. What it means that before 8 o'clock, you should have sent it, and it should be either on his table, if it's a physical delivery, or in his email, if it's something I'm supposed to send to him, so that by 8 o'clock, he's seen it. He can look at it by that time. Onyinyechi, welcome. Glad to have you here today. Thank you for joining us. So punctuality is this, honestly, like I have to say it again, it is something we need to work on in this part of the world. We don't take people's time serious. We feel people's time not important. That is why we can do anything we like with people's time. So punctuality is one of the top, let me use that expression, ethics of the workplace. Be at the office early. It doesn't matter if every other person is coming late. It doesn't matter if your boss doesn't mind. It doesn't matter. Come early. Come early. Thank you. You're welcome, Chika Eze and Favor. Glad that you joined us this afternoon. But as I was saying, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all that every other person is not coming on time. Be on time. When you make up your mind that you can't go late, you will find that you will not go late for anything. You will start earlier. I live in Rumibo, and I used to work in One. And sometimes it meant I had to leave my house like 5:30 in the morning to make sure I'm in One before 8. For those of us that live in Port Harcourt, we know how that road is. We know how it works. I had to leave my house sometimes before 5:30 just to make sure that I'm in the office before 8. And I work with people who live in One and they come after 8. And then when they come after 8, they expect that when I come by 7, let's say 7:45, I will write 7:30 for them on the register so that they have, no, just, they knew then, and they know. Any day I come before, God help you that, unfortunately for you, I arrived at the office maybe 7:50 something. God help you, because that's what I'm signing in on the register. And you will now have to sign the right time you came. If I even see that maybe I came 7:55 and you arrived at the office 8 o'clock and you go and write 7:56, of course I'm going to cancel it. Good thing that I was the boss in quote. I will cancel that thing you wrote. In fact, it's 8 o'clock, I go and rule. Red line, rule. Some people, of course, do not like me for it, but I mean, why would you be late? Why? If you plan properly, most times we will be early for our appointments. If you plan properly, most times you will deliver your jobs on time. It's because we're not planning. And because we're not taking other people's time seriously, we feel why won't they understand? There's hold up, Ejo. They will understand. Why won't they understand? This is Nigeria. No, no. Because if you, what baffles me that this same person that is here saying this is Nigeria, transport them to America and they're early. They run out of their house early and make sure they catch the buses or whatever they need to catch to be in the office on time because it's there. They will not tolerate this story you want to tell. They just deduct your money. There's no need. They don't give room for all these excuses. So transplant this Nigerian now that is coming to work 8:05 and telling you there's hold up. Transplant him to Houston, for example. There are some times there was also, especially in the mornings, whether it's I-10, they call that highway, I can't remember now. Hold up in the mornings. So people that know they're passing I-10 to go to work, they leave early. They leave early because your office will not tolerate that you came late. Welcome, Miebaka. I'm glad you're here this afternoon. So punctuality is one of the most important workplace ethics. Remember, I said it's not just coming to work late, it's delivering on your projects, on your assignments, as and when due, on time. On time. If you're going on break, for example, if your break is 1 hour, please take 1 hour. Take 1 hour. Don't take 1 hour, 10 minutes. Take 1 hour. If you have to extend the break, have the courtesy to inform your supervisor, even if they don't care. You know, some people really, they don't bother. They don't, they will not, what's the word? They will not fine you for coming late or extending, but give that courtesy. Give the courtesy. Inform them. Now, I'm going to use somebody as an example. Now, she's here, but I'm going to use her as an example. I won't call her name, but she knows herself. She was supposed to do something for me today. Yes, supposed to do something for me today. We had agreed, settled everything. But yesterday, she wasn't feeling so fine. She called me and told me, I'm not feeling fine right now. I don't know how I will feel tomorrow. Can we postpone our appointment for today? Now, see, ordinarily, I would have said, what do you mean? But because she gave me that honor to let me know ahead of time, if she wanted to postpone it for 1 week, 2 weeks, I would have said gladly yes. Not because my time is not precious. I have things planned which I may have shifted because I felt she was coming today. But she gave me that honor. She called yesterday. That is professionalism. Remember, we talked about this last week. And this is because personally, she has made up her mind that this is how she wants to live. This is how she wants to work. So she sent me that. She called me. She didn't even send a message. She called me on the phone just to make sure I got it. It's not just that she sent message. If I get it, good. If not, well, she sent it. She called and ensured that I got the message that she will not be here today. So punctuality, delivering your work on time, delivering your jobs, your projects on time, and of course, coming to work on time. And if you're having any challenges, anything that will make you miss any deadline or come to work late, inform your supervisors early enough. I had a supervisor that was not in Port Harcourt. So, I could go to work anytime I like. But any day I was running late, I would send a message. And initially he was like, Ngozi, why are you sending me this? I'm not there. I said, no, I know you're not there. I know it very well. But I need you. Peter said, tell us, they are sitting comfortably on this table. Truly, tell us, comfortably on this table. They don't even see the need to tell you, oh, so sorry. See, this is why sometimes when I patronize some people are like, but this person is expensive. It's not about their expense. It's about their culture of work. I have a tailor If she tells me, okay, ma, I will deliver your clothes tomorrow, and for any reason by today, there is the slightest possibility she will not deliver those clothes tomorrow, she'll tell me. She'll send me a message, ma, please, tomorrow might not be possible. She might still make it and deliver it tomorrow, but already she has given me that heads up. But most tailors, 2 weeks later, you're following after them, running after them. Most, it's not even just tailors. People, as we say, people that do handwork, we know them. This is their normal way. That shows zero personal ethics, zero professional ethics, and of course, where's the workplace ethics? Zero now. Because if you, the owner of the business, are like this, how do you expect those that work for you to be? It's these same people that will now want to beat up their workers for lateness or whatever. No. So I was giving us an example of I had a boss that was not physically present in Nigeria, in Port Harcourt. And any day that I'm running late to work or such things, I would send him a message. And the man used to be like, why are you sending me this message? You're even the one in charge of the office. So, but I just needed that accountability. So, punctuality, I'm happy on it because it's something that we struggle with. We struggle with, especially in the workplace. Number two, as I move on, Emmanuel Izuchukwu, welcome. Glad you are here this afternoon. Accountability in the workplace. In the workplace. Not only do you hold yourself accountable, you should also hold your fellow, your colleagues accountable. See, this accountability thing, I don't even know how to emphasize it. Like I've said it in the past 3 sessions. We know how to hold people accountable, but we don't know how to hold ourselves accountable. We don't. We can say, she should have, but when it comes to what we did wrong, we look for excuses. Hold yourself accountable. Don't always blame others. It's not always someone else's fault. Yeah, sometimes it might be, but it's not always someone else's fault. Thank you. Thank you. As you say, Chairman Emeritus, I'm assuming you're an accountant. I hope so. Okay, that's Emmanuel. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, accountability. Hold yourself accountable for the work that you have to do in your office. Hold yourself accountable. For example, many a time this is what happens. I have something to deliver, but I need to get some input from someone else in order to deliver the work that I have. And the person I'm supposed to get input from is delaying or is not giving me the information. The tendency for us is to say, well, she didn't give me. He didn't give me. And because he or she did not give me, okay, yes, I come for Takot. I suspected so. Welcome, Emmanuel. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome, Eunice Chinwe. I'm glad you came to join us in our journey of growth. All right, I was talking about accountability. And I said that maybe I have an assignment to deliver, and the person that's supposed to give me some kind of input did not either give me or brought it late. The tendency is for us to relax, and then when it's time for us to deliver, we say, well, this person didn't give me what they were supposed to give me, so it's not my fault. To an extent, yes. But what did you do to ensure that that person gives you what they need to give you? Honestly, I feel sorry somehow for people who owe me input. I feel sorry for them because I will trouble you. You will give me that input. Because you will not make me deliver late. No, I won't allow you. I will trouble you. You will give me my input that I will now put together to give my own delivery. You will give it to me. If I have to add somebody to help you to make sure that thing comes out, you will give me the input I need. I can't let you fall my own hand. We know what it means to fall hand in Nigeria. I won't let you. So I will follow you up. I will sit with you if I have to, but that input that I need from you in order to ensure that I deliver on time, I will follow you up until I get it. And if you're proving too stubborn, I will report you, but not in a bad way. So that's the thing. Now people will say, I will just do an email to you, reminding you that you're supposed to send so and so thing to me at so and so time. The first email I will send to you will be to you, directly to you. If after that email and my coming to you or whatever, you still have not given me the input, I will send you a reminder email. Then I will copy the person I'm supposed to report to. I'm sorry, people will say, that's harsh. You're reporting your colleague, but why is my colleague not doing what they're supposed to do? Why do you want to now put me in a situation where I am delivering late? So I'm holding myself accountable. And part of holding myself accountable is to ensure that I do all that I can, all that is within my power to deliver. So accountability. Hold yourself accountable. Don't give excuses. Don't give excuses. That the other person didn't give you is an excuse, and it doesn't fly. Because you didn't do all that you could have done to ensure that that person gives you. Okay. Accountability. The next principle of workplace ethics is focus. Focus. This basically means you concentrate on the task at hand. You avoid distractions. You avoid too much talk. I've gone to offices where somebody is supposed to maybe do something for me as I went there. I'm your client in that situation. And the person is busy on the phone. It's not even as if they're busy talking to their colleague. They're having a social conversation. And I am there waiting for you to give me something. What kind of attitude is that to work? What kind of attitude is that to work? Is that time the best time to have that social discussion? This is why I like American work sometimes. No phones. A lot of offices you work in America, that's 8 o'clock you clock in till whenever you clock out. No phones. Drop your phone. But here, we'll be having private discussions. I'm not saying you cannot talk to your husband if you're married during work hours. I'm not saying you can't attend to your children. Go ahead. But if there is a need to perform a task, there is nothing wrong with, I will call you back later. Please let me just attend to this thing. And you attend to it, then you call the person and have the private discussion. Some people, they're supposed to be working. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram. Why? What happened to your break time to do those things? It doesn't mean that you'll never check your private email or quickly just glance through Facebook, which I don't even know if that's possible, to quickly glance through Facebook, Instagram. I don't know whether it happens to us the way it happens to me. Once you start, you just jump inside one rabbit hole and you keep checking and checking. You go from Facebook to Instagram, back to WhatsApp, and before you know it, hours have gone. Hours gone. So keep the phone. Keep the social media. You are there to work. We really, truly, as a people, because I've seen it in just about everywhere I've worked, so it's not that I'm judging from one place. We don't value work. I don't think we do. We don't value work, as in office work. So focus on the work at hand. You have a job. There's a reason why you're there. See, now this one I'm going to say, some people will also come for me, but it's all right. That's 8 o'clock you come to work till maybe 5 that's not the time to be reading your Bible. I am so sorry to tell you. Use your break time and read your Bible. God is not an author of confusion. Please, He is not. He did not put you. Yes, you can have fellowship during your break time. You can listen to a message if you want while you're doing your work, because you're in that office to fulfill a responsibility. That is because we see work. We don't see work as part of our ministry. We don't see it. The job that we do, we don't see it as part of the ministry. that we are ministering for God. That's why we will come to work and we are reading our Bible, or we are, listening to message that is distracting us. No, now. Part of the reason why God put you on this earth is that work that you are doing. There are people you need to affect in that job, and you can't do it by reading your Bible truly. One of the ways, see, anywhere I've worked, if there's one thing I can say, people know me for my work ethics. They know it. When it's time to work, I work. When it's time to read Bible, I read Bible. When it's time for fellowship, I do fellowship. When it's time for whatever else, I do it. But I believe that in every office that I enter as an employee, that is my ministry field. That is my mission field. So I have to be able to project Christ to those people. And I can't project Christ if I'm doing a shoddy job. If my work is not meeting up, if I'm not able to deliver on time, if I'm not able to meet up with what I'm asked to do because I am praying, I'm not showcasing Christ. So please, my Christian brothers and sisters, when it's time to work, focus. That is part of the ministry. It's part of honoring God when you honor Him in your work. When it's time to pray, pray. Do you know you can pray without anybody hearing you? You can, as you walk into the office, your very presence, let me even start from this. People are making me go into one rabbit hole I did not plan to. Your very presence as you walk into that environment should change that environment. If we are truly carriers of Christ, if we are truly altars of the Most High, as I step into any place, Christ has stepped into that place, there should be a difference. So it's not until I read my Bible, it's not until I pray the whole day. Okay, let me come back to where I was. I was talking about focus. Focus. Peter said it's called the cell phone because the phone is a cell that has trapped many of us. Oh, you see, I never thought of it in that way. Cell phone has trapped a lot of us. Rescue yourself from that trap. Set yourself free. So focus when you are at work. Focus on the work at hand. That work you are doing is part of the ministry. It's part of it. When we begin to see it that way, we will change our attitude towards work and the way we do it. Okay, let me move on. Because if I stay on this focus, we will not finish today. The next thing I want to talk about in workplace ethics is initiative. Don't always wait. Yeah. Okay, someone's checkers, they said the biggest challenge most CEOs have is hiring employees with the right work ethics. Yes. We don't even see the work we do, as our own. I asked one of the places I worked, I used to have this running discussion with people. They say, no, when I get my own, I will, grandiose plans. And I will see the person, I say, my brother, my sister, you will not. Because right now that you're working for someone, you have formed the habit of going late. You have formed the habit of lying. You have formed the habit of not focusing. By the time you have your own business, it's the habits you have formed you will apply now. Will magically, suddenly, all those habits you have formed over years disappear? Oh no. It will not disappear. So by the time you have your own business, you will still go late. You will still not focus. All those things, you carry them forward. So take that business place you're working, pretend that it is your own business, and work like that. Pretend that business you're planning for, that big company you believe you will own tomorrow, pretend you're in that company now that you're working for someone, and run that business with that mindset. That is even what God expects from you. That is His expectation. Okay, moving on to initiative. Now, this is when you do something productive, when you do something useful for your company without being asked. This area is is a double-edged something, because sometimes when you show initiative, people think you're showing off. And it might cause some of your co-workers to look at you as a show-off and what have you. And if you have some weird, strange bosses, they might even begin to think you want to take their jobs. But that should not stop you from showing initiative. If truly this activity will benefit the company, do it. Do it. Show initiative. Take that step without always waiting to be asked to do something. If you're given an assignment and you see a way to improve on it, mention it. Say it. Let it be out there. Many a times, we swallow such sayings. Maybe you're given an assignment and you see that there's an update or something that will improve on that, and you just keep quiet because if you talk now, they will say, no, talk. Let it be on record that you spoke. Our problem most times is that we don't say it right. We say it in a way that makes us appear know it all. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And we also, at times, there are some times you have to allow somebody else to take the credit. Sometimes it's not all the time. I've had suggestions that I brought up and suggested to a superior. And by the time they presented it as their own. Now, like I said, it's not every time. Sometimes you allow that to go. Sometimes. But sometimes you have to also make it known that this was my idea. But the key thing is to do it without looking combative, without looking like you're trying to start a fight. This is where many of us miss it. When we want to claim our initiative, we make it as if there's a fight. There is no fight. My idea is my idea. If you even steal it, I come up with another one. It's because sometimes we think that our life is tied to that one. No, it's not. If you steal this one and there's no way for me to get it out of your hand, no problem. I come up with another one. My brain is working. My brain is working. I come up with another one. You can only steal so much. Even in the Bible, remember the story of Jacob and when he dug wells and they took over the wells and they covered it up. What did he do? He moved on and dug another one until he dug the one that no one contended with him. So they stole this one idea, no problem. Your brain is working. Come up with another one. If it's possible to rescue that first one, rescue it. If you can, take it out of the person's hand without causing too much problem, take it. But if it's absolutely no way that you can drag that, that idea away from that person, let him or she have it. You come up with another one. If truly your brain is working and this idea is yours, 110%, you come up with another one. You will. And it will become clear that the problem was not you. I worked in a place where I thought my direct boss was my best friend, honestly. I actually thought so because we are both accountants. So I always felt he was on my side. I didn't know he was not on my side. And I just kept, doing things. But because this is when I tell us that, see this place that we are working, that workplace, that office is your ministry. Treat it as such. Honor God in it. I always felt this man was on my side. And when I had some responsibilities with ICANN Lagos in that period. And I felt that if I have to keep taking permission every time, officially taking time off to travel to Lagos for that assignment, it will begin to look like I'm leaving my job undone. So I went to my boss, who I thought was on my side, remember, and I told him this thing, presented everything plain to him. And he was like, oh, no problem, Ngozi, when you want to go to Lagos for this program, just let me know maybe a week ahead. Whenever they let you know, let me know. We will work it out. And I believed him. I truly believed him. And I would go. Not knowing that, will I say at the back, he would look for an assignment to give me or something. Or in fact, he will somehow make the MD know that I'm not around. And I didn't know. I was going about my business. What saved me is that whenever I had an assignment to submit, I was never late. The days I come to work, I don't come late. My work ethics, when the MD saw it, he was like, this does not, when he saw the reports coming, he didn't agree. He didn't agree with the person he knows or he's been seeing because he doesn't really know me directly. He doesn't agree because there's no assignment he has given me I submitted late. I would always submit it early. He has never come to work and was told that it came late. So take initiative, yes. Take initiative at all times, really. Try and do even the ones that you are not asked to do. Try and do it. It really truly does not hurt. It really truly does not. You improve, your company advances. It's a win-win. It's truly a win-win when we show initiative. The only, like I said, the problem is when we try to be combative with our presentation of our initiative. It can be a win-win. It can be something that both you and whoever is the other person get the credit for. It's possible. We are not looking for win-wins in situations. That's why we have a lot of issues with initiative. When you are looking for the win-win, you will find a way for both of you to win. Okay, that is initiative. Whew. I'm not sure I'll get to the employer side. Let me try. Okay, productivity is the next aspect that I want to talk about, and that is your ability to overcome distractions, ignore external influences, and produce good work. Be efficient and effective in your duties. Be efficient and effective in your duties. No excuses. No, don't even allow yourself to think I have an excuse not to do my job well. No excuses. Oh, I'm trying to think of what to skip and what not to skip, but let me just go on. There's no need. Anywhere we stop, we can always continue next week. Yeah. So that's productivity. That goes with focus. Because when you're focusing on the work and doing the job as if it's your own, you will be more productive. You will definitely produce good work. You will produce excellent work, and you will produce it on time. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is do I talk about professionalism? I think we covered that when we talked about professional ethics. Be present in your work. Truly be present. Okay, let me talk about this professionalism because it's not just about the work we do, it's also appearing like a professional. Appearing like a professional. I'm careful to talk about dressing because we might think it doesn't matter, but it actually does. There is a dressing that is not professional unless your office is a casual workplace. There are some offices that are casual, but even in that casualness, there is a way to be professional. I cannot understand why you would go to work wearing short shorts, as in short shorts, because your office is a casual office. I don't know. It doesn't even, I don't know. I don't know which profession that would speak of. Does not mean you cannot wear shorts if your office is a casual environment, but not short shorts. You know, the bomb shorts, the ones that are way too short. There's no reason. There's really no reason. You can, if your office is a casual environment, you can wear shorts. I know abroad, I don't know about Nigeria anyway. I know abroad there are some offices that encourage you to be casual. They encourage you to be comfortably dressed. So I see people that wear sweats to work. It's okay if the office allows that, it's fine. But in wearing those sweats, does it make sense that you will now wear bomb shorts because the office says be casual? Let's reason it. You can wear shorts, Bermuda shorts, the ones that get to your knee, or even a little above your knee, still doesn't look, but still so let's be professional. Let's be professional in the workplace. There is a way to look professional. There is a way that you will dress and you're respected. There is a way that you will act and you're respected. So do all that in your workplace. Understand the culture of where you are working and be the best. Be the best. Okay. Peter says during his NYC year, he wore naked, naked exams because of stubborn students. That is a different situation. I mean, you had to be ready, you had to be prepared. If it's fight, you fight. That is not, it's not as if you wore that shorts every day. For sure not. Okay, so that is actually a whole different situation there. All right, I move on to desire to improve. I think this is the last thing I will talk about on the side of the employee. Desire to improve. As an employee, don't be settled in, oh, I am the manager finance, I am the HR manager, and because of that you don't study, you don't improve yourself, you don't read up on what else is happening in HR, you don't read up what is happening in the industry you are working. This is the one that honestly blows my mind. That I would go to an office, maybe you're an accountant, maybe even as, let me not even go so far as accountant, as a receptionist in that company, you should know something about the industry. Yes, you should know something about the industry that your company is in. Read up, study, learn. Okay, Uzos, I didn't even see when you came in. Welcome, Moza. You said you have to be presentable and professional, not dressing like you're going to a nightclub. Okay, okay. She has said it. All right. So I was talking about a desire to improve. You have to be willing to be better in the workplace. You have to be willing to be better. See, I've taken some criticisms from my superiors in the workplace that another person would break down and cry. And I just took it in my stride. Not because I even felt the person was so correct, but because I believe that in every criticism, there's an element of truth. And I try to find that element of truth in every criticism somebody gives you, truly, except very few. There are very few. Very few. But most times, in every criticism that someone gives you, there is an element of truth inside there. If you search, you will find it. If you look, you will find it. And I do make that effort to look for it. And when I find it, I take that and throw away every other thing the person is saying, honestly. I chuck it in the dustbin. So you criticize me expecting me to fall apart. What you see that I improve. Because truly, honestly, maybe the aim of that criticism was to bring me down. But I refuse to be brought down. Now, why should I give you that power? Why should I give you that kind of control over me, over my life? Why? I can't. I refuse to. So when people criticize me, whether in the workplace or anywhere really, but especially in the workplace, I sit back and look for the element of truth hidden inside that criticism. If I can't find any, I throw away everything you said and move on with my life. But if I can find even one element of truth in the midst of that criticism, I take it and I improve myself based on that. So always embrace feedback, honestly. Don't always see feedback as confrontational. Embrace feedback. Embrace feedback and see the criticism as a learning moment. See it as a learning moment, honestly. It will help you. You will have less stress, less headache. But of course, some people are just mean. We know that. And if it gets too much, please extricate yourself from that situation that will cause you to have mental issues, mental health issues, please. But as much as possible, embrace feedback. Find the element of truth hidden inside that feedback. Take it and improve yourself. So that instead of you falling apart as they expect, they see you growing, they see you blossoming. Okay? So that is, I think I will stop there on workplace ethics as it relates to the worker, the employee. Now, generally, I'll quickly go through as it relates to the company because there's not much really to say. There's not a lot because it actually depends on the company. It depends on the company. But the first and most important thing about workplace ethics for any company and employer, is that you have to make sure that you define what that organization stands for. Okay, also says constructive criticism is good for learning. It's when it's done to dampen someone's morale, then it's not professional. As we need to be professional and think about each other's mental health and well-being, for sure, for sure. But there, like I said, there are people out there who will never think about your own well-being. So you have to think of your own self, your own well-being also. If they refuse to help you, help yourself. Like I've had, if I somebody has called me maggot, a boss, maggot. When I remember it now, I laugh because. But then, honestly, that maggot, I was a married woman. It's not a single girl, oh, married with children. When I was called this maggot, and initially, honestly, tears came to my eyes. But I refused to cry first. I wanted to know why he's calling me maggot. What did I do that ended that maggot? It was that mindset of you're calling me a maggot because you don't understand. Truly, that was the way I took it. You are calling me a maggot because you do not understand. I am not a maggot. So I was able to, check, is there any truth in this maggot? Why would he even call me a maggot? I actually asked this one, truly, I actually went to him and said, sir, why did you call me a maggot? Everybody you can do that with. You have to also know who you're working with. I truly went and like, sir, why did you call me a maggot? And the man burst out laughing. Because now, see, in this particular situation, he didn't really intend it to be derogatory, but this is who he is. When I discovered that he's just someone that, well, I say likes to call people names, honestly. That's the only way I can describe this, my boss. I stopped taking literally the names he called. He called us a lot of them, a lot of them, such things. So I just took it that in this case, I didn't need to take it personal. I didn't need to take it personal. Yes, not everyone is as strong as everyone else. We have to keep that in mind. But like I said, also you guard your own heart. Don't take everything. Even when they intend for you to take it, don't take. See, offense has to be taken. Remember, you have to take offense, which means you can also not take it. Okay. Peter says those who are often sentimental and emotional can never see any atom of truth in criticism, no matter its form. Agreed. True. That's why you have to become the person that finds the atom of truth in the criticism. It takes work. It's not magic. It takes work. It's something you develop. You keep working at it until you come to the point where no matter what the criticism is, you start looking for first, or you look for the atom of truth if it exists. When it doesn't exist, you move on. Throw it in the dustbin. That is, sometimes I actually physically tell myself, I collect this thing you told me into the dustbin. Some of these things help us. Okay, so let me quickly talk about from the perspective of the company. One, you have to define what your organization stands for. A lot of organizations don't have that. Define what your organization stands for. What are your areas of, what's the word I'm looking for? These are no-go. Okay, it says, Chika said she heard her boss years ago calling the accountant a glorified clerk. She laughed while everyone was serious till he chased me out of the meeting. It happens. Glorified clerk, okay. What I would do, if I'm the accountant, I would definitely, honest, I wouldn't take offense then. Maybe my feelings would be hurt to get me. My feelings would be hurt, but I will not take offense. I will go back and figure out, why did he call me? Is there something I did? If there is nothing I did to earn glorified clerk, my brother, pack it into the dustbin. My own personal mental health is very important to me. I won't allow you. I won't allow you. Okay. Yes, organization values and ethics also. Every organization has to develop what are their values and ethics. You have to. It's important for your organization. So even as you're now, you're a worker and you're planning to start your own business, because just about every worker is looking for the day they are now the boss. What will be the organization's values and ethics? Sit down, establish it, write it down. Write it. Write it down. And as you write it down, make it known to your employees from the day they come in. The last place I work, this is one thing I love about that place. The last place I work, as that day you're coming for your, the first day you come, there's orientation and what have you. That day you will receive the company's values, mission, vision, all those things. It will be given to you, written, and there will be a discussion about those things, what they mean, the mission, the vision, the values, the core values of the company. It will be told you day one. This is an area most organizations miss it. Then when people begin to behave anyhow, you wonder what happened. You didn't tell them your expectations as an organization. So even as you define what your organization stands for and you create it as a code of ethics, you put it in writing, ensure that every employee has it. It is from day one. And the most important part, honestly, on the side of the company, on the side of the organization, is that you must demonstrate these values from the top. You don't do a code of ethics, hand it over to your employees, insist they follow it, and you are not. As the MD, CEO, or as the manager, or whatever position you hold, it doesn't work. See, this say do as I say and not as I do. No, it doesn't work. So you have to demonstrate these values that you have adopted, these values that you have put in writing, these values that you have tried to pass across to your employees. You have to develop them. You have to inculcate them. They have to become part of you. They should be synonymous with you. When they mention you, those values should be evident. It has to be demonstrated from the top. Otherwise, it doesn't trickle down. Otherwise, people just collect the code of ethics and put it away, file it away somewhere, and they don't follow it and they don't bother about it. It has to be demonstrated from the top down. And with these few points, I want to believe that I've done justice to the topic of workplace ethics. It is so important that as employees, we do the right thing. Take that company you're working for as your own. Sometimes we say, oh, our bosses are, no, it doesn't matter whether your boss is the meanest, your boss is the worst. Take that company as your own and work for that company as if you're working for yourself, as if this is your own. The same effort you would put it now. Like I said, many times we believe that I can have bad attitude towards work now that I'm an employee. When I have my own, I will be better. Not true. Not true. Because by that time, you have inculcated the bad habits. They have become you. It becomes difficult to change them then. So take that office as your own. Take it as a Christian. Take that work as your ministry. That is the ministry God has given you for this moment. Take it as that. And honor God even in it. A lot of our attitudes will be different if we can see work in this way. If we can believe that our jobs, they are also a ministry. If we can believe that in working for someone, we are also working for ourselves. The things you learn, the values you imbibe, the lessons you pick up as an employee, they stay with you. Nobody can take them away. They stay with you for life. So do the right things as an employee and let your work ethics be top-notch. Thank you for joining me once again this afternoon on Growth Habits with Ngozi. Remember, we are here every Tuesday, 12 noon, right here on Facebook Live. We are here every day. And follow us on all our social media handles. We are just about everywhere you can imagine, honestly. We are trying to, flood the atmosphere with growth. We're here. We have a Facebook group here, Growth Habits with Ngozi. Find it, join it. I think the link should be on this video. Join it. Join that group and be active. Be active there. We are active on TikTok, Growth Habits with Ngozi. We are very, very active there. We're on Instagram, Growth Habits with Ngozi. We're on YouTube, Growth Habits with Ngozi. Join, in fact, connect with us on all our social media handles. And as you connect, be active. Ask questions. I always say, is there any question? Nobody ever answers. And on the Facebook group, every afternoon after this live, there is, oh, yes, your people have gone back 1 hour also. People have gone back 1 hour. I forgot. That's true. It's now 11 a.m. for you. Okay. So, I always ask, what did you learn from the live session of today? And people will just read it and pass. Say something. Ask a question. Make a comment. The comment you make could help someone else. The question you ask could also help someone else. So don't just be there. Be active. Sometimes I say, oh, what did you do over the weekend? No response. Please be active. Be active in those groups. So remember, join us everywhere. Follow us on all our social media handles. Tell your friends about Growth Habits with Ngozi. Mention to them, ask them to join the Facebook group, ask them to subscribe to the YouTube channel, ask them to join us on TikTok. Everywhere, tell people. And yes, finally, before I leave today, we have extended a little bit, but remember that I have a paid mentorship program that I run. The slots for next year will close by the end of November. So, okay, I have to put up the WhatsApp link on this live once I finish. Yes, I will put it up once I finish. We have a waiting group, a wait list on WhatsApp where I'll pass across the information, how much the paid mentorship costs and all those things. As you pay, and I'll move you to the main group. Okay, so I think this is where we'll call it a day today. Thank you for joining me once again. I am so appreciative of your time. It's not easy to give up 1 hour of your time in the middle of your day to one lady talking, a lot of grammar. Well, thank you for always joining me. I appreciate. And those that watch on the replay, honestly, there are some people that when they tell me, oh, I watched you, I'm like, you too? But thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate that you come back and you watch and you learn. God bless each and every one of us. And remember to make today count. Make this day count and be valuable and grow. Thank you. See you next week, Tuesday, right here, 12 noon. Bye.